Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another laptop video. So today I'm going to talk about cooling. Now the idea is if your laptop runs cooler it will perform better. So basically if it has to spend less energy cooling itself, it can spend more energy performing better. So I'm going to test it out. I've got a laptop cooling pad, 6 fans, lights up. Actually looks alright. £16 this cost. So we're going to test it and see if it works. So I'm going to test it two ways. I'm going to test it editing wise, sort of condensing a file from, I'll use like Handbrake and I'll condense a file down, see how quick it takes without the fan, and then see how quick it takes with a fan. I can also measure the FPS that it does it, so we can see if that's better. So I'll do that for editing, and then I will have a look gaming wise and see if it's better for gaming. So I'll probably just go on, I'll try multiplayer Call of Duty and then I'll try Warzone and just see if there's better FPS, better performance, and see if it's worth it. Now I have already done this, so I already know. Yeah, it does help actually, believe it or not, but is it worth it? That's what we're going to see. So, before I go any further, I'll show you what this looks like in person. I'll flip the camera around. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing more laptop videos, so if you like these, then yeah, sub to the channel. Also, if you want to see anything else on the Acer, let me know, because I've already done the RAM, I've already upgraded the screen. I'm going to do the hard drives and stuff as well in the future, so if there's something else you want to see, just let me know and see if I can get it done. Okay, so here it is. It's actually not bad looking really for what it is. So on the side you've got the roller setting here, so you can set the speed. So as you can see, when it speeds up, the lights get brighter. So you can have it nice and low, or all the way up, and it's not that loud. Also, what's quite handy, it's got a spare USB. So you're using one from the laptop. I mean, these Acers have only got 3 USBs, so you're using one for the cooler, but then it gives you an extra one. So that's quite a nifty, handy thing to have. And also, like, it's made out of metal on here. There's a, you know, the back's plastic around the edges, but you know, the front's metal, so quality looks pretty good for, you know, for the amount you pay. Maybe they've used metal because metal conducts heat quite well. It draws a lot of heat out as metal, so maybe that's why they went with metal. And then you've got the extenders on the back, so you can have it higher up or you can have it flat. That really depends on your preference, but yeah, it's not a bad looking piece of kit, so I'm pretty happy with it for the money I paid, and it kind of matches the laptop. That's kind of went with red light up because red goes with the red. So the results. So the first test I did was condensing a file in Handbrake. The file I used was an old video that I made. I went from, sorry, I just looked from my notes, I went from 11.6 gig down to 392 megabyte, so quite a big drop. Without the fans, it did it in 10 minutes 40, and the average FPS that it condensed it down at was 21.9. So, I mean, it's a pretty big file, so it's not too bad going, I guess. With the fans, it did it in 10 minutes and 20 seconds, and the frames per second that it condensed it at was 22.4, so about half a FPS quicker and 20 seconds quicker. Now, because it was so close, I thought, well, I'm going to have to run my test again just to check. So I did it 4 times in total, 2 of each, 2 with the fans, 2 without, and the results were exactly the same. So it was better with the fans. Now, is it worth getting this cooler if you're just doing editing to save 20 seconds here and there? Well, if you're doing it all day every day, yeah, it might be worth it. But At the end of the day, it's your decision. Now, gaming wise, so I went on Call of Duty, I set up a private match, so just me on my server with bots. The reason I did that is because then I can guarantee it'd be the same test each time, so I thought it'd be pretty equal. So with the fans on, it was averaging 125 to 130 frames per second. So I know it does bounce up and down in Call of Duty, so I kind of got the lowest and the highest to sort of stock with those two, and I kept watching it as I was going, and it pretty much sat around there. But without the fans, it was between 90 and 100. So it's a good 20-30 frames per second difference between the fans on and the fans off. And the temperatures of the CPU, with the fans on, it was like 89 degrees. With the fans off, it was like 92, 93. So it just goes to show that those extra couple of degrees that you can pull down, it can then give you more performance, because you don't have to worry about cooling itself. So I did that test. Again, I did a few games of each just to see, you know, I just want to do it a few times just to really get good figures, and it was pretty much the same every time. So and then afterwards I kind of did it on the test. I went on Warzone. Obviously it's a massive map, it takes a lot of processing power just to, you know, keep it smooth gameplay, and the frames per second aren't as great on Warzone because obviously the size and all that sort of stuff. So without the fans, it was between 60 and 70 frames per second. So not too bad. It's usually what it runs out before, but with the fans, it was between 80 and 90. So it was quite a big difference. And again, I did a couple of games in each just to see if it was maybe just the server, or, you know, because sometimes you get bad server and the frames just can be horrendous. But I did a few games of each and they were pretty much the same. So again, it was like another 20, 30 FPS difference, which is a pretty good improvement. So if you're gaming, it might be worth getting. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are with it. So, you know, it really depends on you, what you're using the laptop for. You know, it's not a bad thing to have just to keep it cooler. You know, the longevity of the laptop, if it's getting hot all the time, it's good to try and keep it cool, keep it a healthy laptop. And then if you get a little bit of performance out of it as well, then it's not bad going, is it? So yeah, so I think it's worth it for me, definitely. But is it worth it for you? That's really up to you. I can only really talk about this cooler because it's the only one I've tested. I'm not going to go out and buy 10 different ones and test them all because I don't have the money for it and I don't have the time. So I got one that I thought looks alright, and the reviews weren't too bad, and you know, it's turned out to be pretty good, so I'm happy with it. Yeah, so that's going to be about it for this video. So the next one I'm going to do on this, probably about a week or two, I'm going to get the SSD upgrade. So if that's something you want to look into, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the video. About a week or two I'm going to have a bigger SSD. I think I'm going to go 2 TB SSD with this, and then hopefully with the games on there and my editing software on the SSD, it should perform better again. But I'll do tests again to see if it's worked. So yeah, that'll be about it for this video. So until next time, look after yourselves, and I'll see you later.